Hi guys, hi teacher. I hope you are feeling well and that you have had an excellent day. Today I'm going to talk to you about a very useful type of research in education, and especially when we want to learn a new language such as English, quasi experimental research. So I hope your attention and let's get started. Okay, first, what is quasi experimental research? Okay, we can say that it is a form of research where we test a new idea or method without being able to divide students into groups completely randomly. And this is useful in real situations where we cannot change the students in a class or a school easily. Also, quasi-experimental research is much like, I think, traditional experiments, but without dividing participants randomly into test and control groups. So this means that we we compare two or more groups that already exist to see if a specific change, such as a new way of teaching English, has any effect. Of course, there are quasi-experimental design times where we can first find the interrupted time series where we look at group before and after introducing a new way of teaching English at various points in time. For example, we observe how students do on their English test before and after using a new educational application. Uh, another design is non-equivalent groups, where we compare a group that uses a new teaching method with another group that continues with the traditional method. For example, one class that use interactive games to learn English, and another continues to use, for example, textbooks. Another designs is cohort designs, where we follow different groups of students over time. For example, we observe how students who started using a new learning technique in different years do. Okay, now to understand how quasi-experimental research works, let's look at its application. The first step in any research is to clearly identify the problem or research question. So, this involves defining what we want to investigate and why it is important. For example, suppose we have observed that many high school students have difficulty learning English vocabulary. We want to investigate whether the use of a specific mobile application for learning English vocabulary can improve students' performance in this area. So, our research questions could be, does the use of a mobile application improve English vocabulary learning in high school students? Another important step is select groups. In quasi-experimental research, study groups are not chosen randomly, as I said, so we use groups that already exist, such as classes or sessions in a school. It is important to ensure that the groups are compatible in terms of relevant characteristics such as, for example, age, English proficiency, and, for example, socioeconomical background. For example, we choose two junior high school classes in the same school. Both classes have similar levels of English proficiency according to previous ratings and are taught by teachers with similar experience. So, one class will be the experimental group that will use the mobile app, and the other will be the control group that will continue with the traditional teaching method. Another step is applying the intervention. This step involves introducing the new method or tool to the experimental group. It is crucial that the intervention is applied consistently and for an adequate period of time to observe the possible effects. For example, in the experimental class, students use the mobile application to learn English vocabulary for 3 months. Uh, this app includes interactive activities, games, and daily quizzes. So the control class continues to use the traditional textbook, and teachers taught lessons without the support of the app. Of the app. Okay, another step is collect data. In this, it's necessary to collect data both before and after the intervention to measure change in outcomes. And the data should be relevant to the research question and may include tests, surveys, observations, etc. For example, before starting to use the app, both groups take a vocabulary test to establish a baseline. And after 3 months, both groups take the same vocabulary test again. In addition, additional data can be collected such as student satisfaction surveys, and teacher observation of student behavior and participation. Now, one of the most important steps, analyze data. In this one, after collecting the data, the next step is to analyze the data to see if there are significant differences between the groups. This usually involves using statistical methods to compare the results of the two groups. For example, we compare the results of the vocabulary test before and after the intervention for both groups. Uh, yeah, we use statistical analysis such as independent sample t-tests to determine whether the improvements in the experimental group are significantly greater than in the control group. So we also analyze surveys and observations to get a more complete picture of how the implementation affected student learning and and engagement. And, and now the final step, which is conclusion and recommendations. In this step, we interpret the results and make conclusions about the effectiveness of the new method or tool. Of course, based on the results, we can make a recommendation for the future. For example, if the results show that the group that used the mobile app had significantly greater improvements on vocabulary tests than the control group, we can conclude that the app is an effective tool for learning English vocabulary. So we, we recommend that the school consider implementing this app in more classroom, and, and that the other researchers conduct additional studies to confirm these findings and is explore its applicability in different educational contexts. Okay, guys. Summary, we can say that quasi-experimental research is a powerful tool for evaluating new ideas in education, especially in the teaching of language such as English. And with careful design, we can obtain valuable results that help us improve our educational practices. So, thank you guys, thank you teacher for your attention.